The next speaker is Stefano Pampaloni. He's the CEO of SICOM SRL, and he'll give us a speech about sustainable capitalism. And I'll give you the floor to decrypt these inspirational words. The floor is yours.
Thank you. It's a quite difficult topic. And yes, I'm the CEO of SICOM, which is part of the ITWA group since last March. I'm the vice president of RIOS, the Italian network of open source companies. And as RIOS, we are a member of APEL, the European Association of Local and National Organization of Companies working with open source software. And we are even member and contributor of the OSPO Alliance. And this is the reason why I'm here talking about OSPOs. And the presentation, I want to start with from a broader perspective, trying to explain the reason why I'm here and to address the problem is worrying me in the last period. In this chart, we have the top 10 companies by market capitalization in the MSCA index from roughly 50 countries, from the indexes from 50 countries. And we can easily see the huge shift in the last 15 years, just 15 years, less than a generation, half of a generation. And we can observe how the landscape has completely changed because we have a huge technology dominance today, but the most notable shift is the growing dominance of the top 10 companies, especially in technology, in the weight of on the index, because you can see the largest company today has a valuation 3 times on those in 2009. You know, and this is. This trend is starkly visible in the Standard & Poor index, where the Magnificent Seven, or so-called Magnificent Seven companies, tech companies, alone make up over the 30% of the index. And last chart, in the last year is even worse because those companies grew by 58%, nearly double the index rate. You know, so is this problematic that almost all the leading companies are in tech? Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not an economist. Maybe it's just a sign of the time. But my main concern, however, is the concentration of power and influence over information and politician. Here I have a slide. A politician, and so in our life, this power is further entrenched by big tech corporations to resist to regulations. We are experiencing a lot of criticism against. Most of the time, European regulation, but not only European. For example, against antitrust, if it really exists, or maybe it's sleeping. But even against AI Act, GDPR, for example, and this power is together with the power, the economic power of these companies, we heard about arguments that the regulations and rules would hinder innovation, and so the big tech companies cannot be compliant or can be exempt from regulation. And this is extremely risky path, because we are hearing about Elon Musk arguing that we can look beyond democratic frameworks. Well, fortunately, Elon Musk is not more so relevant in the world, maybe, and. This is something I personally think about in the last period, because I feel this problem. So, who can save us? Who can help us? Maybe a superhero, a super OSPO. I don't think so, honestly. We can hope in a superhero. But I believe in open source, and not just for ethical reason, even for those reasons. But I do have faith in open source, even for economic reason, because open source already demonstrated that it can be an alternative to the extractive capitalism and surveillance capitalism. You know, so open source can be a model to innovate, and ironically, most of the big tech companies are using open source to innovate, and maybe they are doing this better than all the other companies in a better way for them. Open source can be already demonstrated to allow us to innovate in the same at the same rate or even more of the other companies, so we can access this technology and this method to develop it, to innovate in a distributed and wider way. So the way to do this is to leverage on OSPO, in my opinion, because OSPO can translate the potential of open source into the organization and to put into the ground what the benefits of open source in terms of development and innovation. Here I have the definition of the OSPO, but I'd like to go further to the how to leverage on OSPO in this way. Here we have the role, the typical role of OSPOs, but these are activities and roles related to the operational task. You know, so it's important, but I'd like to raise the role of the OSPOs to a higher level, to be able to leverage open source and to innovate in a better way. Here I have reported two areas where OSPO can boost innovation on one side and sustainability on the other side, and can have a role, an higher role in organization, in companies, in enterprise, but even in the government entities. So, sorry, my notes. So regarding the open innovation, here we have some ideas where OSPO can boost open innovation inside companies, leveraging open source, because open innovation is something quite often used in the enterprises. In the enterprises, but not in the open source way. They are usually doing hackathons or investing in startups, but doing open innovation through open source is much better in my opinion, and can leverage the role of the OSPO inside the organization. Regarding the Sustainable Development Goals, so we can be effective even in the government entities, here we have a report from the Linux Foundation mapping all the benefits, or the benefits for open source, from open source on all the goals, the 17 goals in the Sustainable Development Goals chart from the United Nations. And here I inserted my experience last July at the United Nations headquarters in New York, attending the OSPO for Goods. These events has been really amazing for me. Of course, it has been a very important event and an experience. But I'd like to point out that it's not an event related to open source, or not. Of course, it's related to open source, but the title is OSPOs for Goods. So the role of the OSPO, the person inside the office, through the open source to have a good impact on our society. But I want to rise again the role of the OSPO and the general idea to use open source not just for tech and beyond the code, because I'd like to see a cultural change in our mind, thinking about open source as a general way to distribute and to collaborate together to improve our life. Here we have three books talking about culture regarding three different areas, from legal to architecture and even arts, because we have Carlo Piana talking about the freedom and copyrights in the legal framework, and here we have the authors ready to sign a copy for you. But we have even Carlo Ratti is an architect, not software or infrastructure architect, but for building architect, speaking about the importance of, or the opportunity to have city designed with open source principle. And we have Francesco Disa, is a philosopher, is an artist, AI artist, faces against the copyrights and hoping to have even artists working in an open environment. So here is my call to action to spread the open source culture, to try to build a more sustainable and balanced capitalism against the path we are facing today. So just 40 seconds for the questions. This is the last.
Stefano, thank you very much for, yes, we need an applause because you bring us a very long journey around everything that regards capitalism. Is there any question from the floor? Yes, is there. There is. The mic is coming.
Thank you. And my question is, I didn't know about this movement. This is very interesting. Do you manage to involve the educational part into this kind of idea, the framework of OSCO? Because I think that it's very important for the young generation to know that they can do, venture in this way, because they see only Steve Jobs on YouTube. They don't see you or other people like you.
Well, with open source, generally speaking, of course, we are not just me, but there are a lot of people working at the educational level. Honestly, if we talk about OSPO, at least in Italy, there are really few OSPOs, and it's hard to explain what an OSPO is to the adults, and it's much more difficult to the young people. So we can start in the educational sector. We can start thinking about open source as itself, but here I'd like to raise the role of the OSPOs, the people, and not just the principle, the code. We need to put to the ground the benefits, because on the other side, the big tech are doing that, and we are, in my opinion, at high risk.